Hello everyone, I'm Sandy Lene. Welcome to Psychic Creations. We have an awesome show for you today. As many of you know, I am a psychic who uses stones as my tool to give intuitive readings. I'm also an author, and I write articles about stones and also historic/paranormal books. Now, when I write articles or books, research is first and foremost on my agenda. And what better place to do research and to learn about the old and new history than, of any subject really, than in the Nevada Historical Society. I'd like to introduce you to the director of the Nevada Historical Society. Welcome, please welcome, Shery Hayes-Zorn.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you for having me here. I appreciate it very much.
Well, thank you for opening up this awesome building for a Psychic Creations episode.
This is wonderful. It's a great way to get the word out about the Historical Society.
It is. Now, if you don't mind, could I ask you some questions?
Oh, I would be honored.
Cool. All right. Well, first, can you please tell our viewers just what the Historical Society is all about?
Well, the Historical Society is Nevada's oldest cultural institution. I use that term in the sense that we're more than a museum and we're more than a research library. We're both, and people don't always understand or think it's antiquated when you hear Historical Society, but what we are is we're gatherers of records of Nevada's history, the Great Basin, the West, records from territorial through the present, and it's just a great opportunity for anybody who wants to learn about our history to come on in.
Oh, that's awesome. I really like that. And what is your position, your job duties here?
I'm acting director. I've been acting director for almost 5 years, but I actually oversee the manuscript collection here at the Society.
Oh, I bet that's fun.
It is. It is. It's one of the largest collections besides our photograph collection. That's over 500,000 photos here. But we have over 3,000 manuscripts, the large to the small, so you might have like an individual letter to several hundred boxes, like is the Truckee-Carson Irrigation District. So we really have this amazing collection that we get people from around the world that come in to research, as locals to do research and genealogy, to school kids that come in and want to learn about Nevada's history. So we really have it all here. So it's a great place to be.
Oh gosh, all the collections and records here. Oh my gosh. Well, I think you kind of answered this question, but like what is housed in this building?
The majority is more of our paper and our flat storage materials. We do have artifacts as well, but the majority tend to be large. And so we have 4 to 5 off-site locations here. So we have textiles, furniture, pianos, you name it. So we really have a large collection here, but it even goes out into Carson City as well.
Really? Well, how interesting. Oh, I like that idea. And what can be researched here?
Well, we have our strength tends to be our manuscript collections, where maybe it's like an individual's records, business records as well. So that tends to be the people that come in to do research. But we have all the bound newspapers for the state of Nevada here as well. Over 2,000 maps. So if you're trying to do research about really anything Nevada related, come on in. We have the Sanborn fire maps and records. So if you're trying to do research about a community and how the buildings evolved over time, you just never know what you'll have until you really just come on in, and you never know. We're always excited of what we can answer for you too as well. So it's we always say we're a hands-on collection, a special collection here, and just come on in and we'll do our best to help you.
How interesting. Now, does this house all the records for the entire state of Nevada or just northern?
Well, actually had the whole state, now, like now the state government,
Mhm.
that's housed by the Nevada State Library and Archives.
Oh, okay.
They deal with all like the territory and governor records.
Oh,
They're in
mhm.
care of that. We used to have some of those records, but over time, we've transferred them down there, same as them, as they were going through their collections. It was not government-related material, so we've done exchanges over time. So yeah, it's amazing what's here, but really it could be anything, you know. We have an exhibit right now that, you know, talks about Nevadans. So we have a letter from Jenny Clemens, who, the daughter of Orrin Clemens that died in
Yes.
Carson City. I'd read about this letter for years in some of our early biannual reports of, you know, donations that came through, and I always wondered, where is this letter? And we've been going through and cataloging the manuscripts, and we came across it one day. So it's amazing, it's truly amazing what you'll find here, so.
Well, it is. I've done research here, and it is truly amazing the things that you can come across. Letters, articles, newspaper, advertisements. It's incredible. And it's a lot of fun, too.
It is.
Cool. Well, can you tell our viewers the process of how you can register and then sign in to use the research facility?
Oh, absolutely. Our hours for the whole building is Tuesday through Saturday for our museum, 10 to 5, but our research library is actually open Wednesday through Saturday, 12 to 4. So there's no fee to come into our research library. You just come on in and you'll be greeted either with our librarians or one of our volunteers that come and help, and they'll have you fill out a registration card and give your driver's license, and we give you a key. So you can, you know, put your personals away, because we only have people use pencils when they're working with these original materials, or maybe you have a laptop or something. We let you have that out, but the rest of your bags and things we lock up. But it's really, you know, it's not where you just sit down on a computer and begin a search. It's really that hands-on opportunity where they'll sit down with you and ask you questions. What are you trying to research? And then we'll go from there.
Oh, and everybody here is a huge help. Every time I am wanting to research something, everybody's just right here to help.
They
Because
really are.
I don't know what to do.
No, you do, but at the same time, sometimes you don't always know where to begin. And we have an amazing clipping file that gets people started, and from there, then you get into the records and our rare print files and our ephemera collections and manuscript collections and photographs. So it's really depends on what you're researching will lead you in a certain direction. So
What an awesome process that is.
it really is. There's so much to learn. I'm always learning something new, and you know, we have an amazing directories that are so important. If nothing else, if you're trying to research a house or a family, where they lived and where they ended up, and maybe they left the community, at least you can document, say, okay, I no longer can find him in Reno after 1932, and you know, it helps narrow the gap. So when you're trying to do research, at least gives you a starting point.
Well, sure, it does. Oh, this place is just the energies in here are just so awesome. Everybody's just got to come in here and just check out these are the collections right here, these books, and along that wall there, it's all the pictures.
Oh, and you know, and that doesn't count all the manuscripts that are in all the photographs that are in our manuscript collection. So we potentially could have almost 1 million photographs here. And so there's a lot of manuscripts that have been started, but it's all that detailed processing. So there's so many things just within an individual collection that maybe we didn't know we had. So it's really rich here, and we have one of a kind, the Territorial Enterprise Index cards that nowhere else has it, as well as our retired curator, Phil Earle. He worked here, 25, 30 years, and he's still volunteering now, retired, and going through newspapers and typing up these cards that are so important, and get you those references that maybe you couldn't find initially, and you know, you think, oh, people are going into that next stage, you know, getting rid of those index cards in the books, but that's not the case. You know, you never know what kind of question that, if nothing else, that's a starting point that maybe you can then go from there and see what else is, you know, in the newspapers or in, you know, some of the historic reference books. So
And he's got his own car catalog section.
He does.
He's fabulous. He is just fabulous. Well, how long does it take you to, maybe a ballpark figure, to research just one item? Let's say maybe a genealogy of one of the Bonanza Kings in Virginia City.
Well, there's so much, so it kind of depends what we might have here, what has already been written, because we have an amazing research library with books and reference material, but, newspaper archives, that's, products we're trying to get, as well as Ancestry, we do have a membership, so we can help do research that way. You can spend a short period of time to at least get people started, but you can spend weeks, working on different projects. And I'm working right now on an attorney general list for the state and trying to correct information, see what kind of photos that we might have to help them work on fleshing out their history for the state as well. So you just never know.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it really is.
Gosh.
And like the old writing, you could totally misidentify T versus an L or F. It's, that cursive writing. You have to be able to think beyond just that initial letters and look past it a little bit to see where those hints, just like genealogy research when you're looking, if you do your scope bigger, then you can narrow it down, or maybe find that person you didn't think you could. And as you know, Arlene is great with that.
Yes,
so.
she is. A docent here named Arlene LaFerry. Can't get any better than her.
No, and if you want help with anything, I always ask Arlene on a variety of things, and so she truly is an expert on Virginia City, and just willing to really help us find that right information. So if nothing else, getting the myth identified as a myth, or getting the information correct. So I mean, that's our whole goal, is just trying to help the public, and if we can fix some errors along the way, and so it's all good.
Well, I can understand that, because, if a rumor starts and then all of a sudden it's a big story, 30 years later, and that's all correct.
Well, that's it, and or even 100 years or more, just because they typed it in the paper doesn't mean that is the fact. If nothing else, that's a starting point. Maybe you can prove it's wrong or prove it's right, but it's that kind of thing that they weren't correct too. They were sensational as well, like with Mark Twain, in the Territory Enterprise and all of that. They really flourished and made their stories more elaborate than sometimes that they really were. So, but that's all good.
That's all good too. Well, it gives you a hint of the times too, of how the people thought back in the mid-1800s or late 1800s.
I really love the language that they use. It's so. They're so detail oriented. I love reading information about, like, maybe a ball that they put together, dinners. It really allows you to step into that time, at least to get an idea of what they were wearing, what they were eating, who was all involved. And that's great too, because it really can help you if you're trying to do a research project. That's just great additional information. Nowadays it's very specific and real short, in the papers, where then they used to really flesh them out. And it was very elegant.
And it's fun to read.
I know.
Lots of fun to read. Well, before I forget, because I do, can you please let our viewers know any contact information, phone numbers, websites, and things?
Oh, absolutely. Well, you can visit our website. It's nevadaculture.org. And if you look under Division of Museums and History, you'll see our 7 sister institution, and you can click on Nevada Historical Society, or just Google us, and we'll pop right up. Our phone number that you can call, it's 775-688-1190. And if you call extension 0, that's our front office, but we do have a directory that will direct you to the library, to our curator, photographer curator, or myself, and we'll be able to answer questions. Just visit our website, and we're always doing e-blast information. So if you're interested, we even can send out e-newsletters and just things about our upcoming events. So it really, it's our way to affordably get the news out, and it's just letting people know what we're doing. So.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
And you have special events here and festivities. How can our viewers get a hold of a calendar or find out what's going on?
Just go to our website. We do have, and we're going to be getting a new website over the next few months.
Ooh.
Yay! But we've been having some problems with our current one, so I haven't been able to upload photos and other things. But over the next few months, I'll be able to add new calendars on there. But I've been listing out all of our detailed programming, and just give us a call or just visit our website.
How fun, how fun. Now, do you give classes and have lectures here as well as fun festivities?
Oh, we do. We have great lectures on people writing books, as well as we have a nature series going on. We want to do a Donner Party series.
Oh.
So it's just, we have lectures on a variety of topics. Just, it doesn't even have to be Nevada history. It's just history in general. That I think that's part of our role, is just getting that information out that maybe they can't find elsewhere. And so we do that. We're working with HARPS, and are going to be doing House Histories 101 workshop April 5th. And so it's a limited class. It's a fundraiser for them, but it's very small. But it's an opportunity for people who want to do research on their homes. And because we get a lot of people come in that want to look at our city directories and Sanborn maps and try to figure out who owned it, or did the house get moved? I mean, that happens quite often as well, that maybe they completely moved to another location or just turned it and it faces a different street.
Right.
So, I mean, it's those kind of things people are trying to identify. And so this is a great opportunity as our test workshop to see how it goes. And then I think we'll see about trying to add some different classes down the road. But we also do even helping out, how do you care for your collections? How do you care for your family's treasures, and even if you have a question, you can just call one of us, and we'll do our best to help you find out what you need to know, but also maybe you're trying to get an appraiser. And so, or, it's those kind of things, and we can at least give you names and contacts so you can find that person within the community.
Oh, that's amazing what you can do here. I did not realize that you had all of this information and help here.
Yeah,
Wow.
I've always felt it's an important part of our role, and
Yes.
I even help, sometimes I've helped with training for some of the small museums, and just, because they rely on volunteers just like we do as well, and I think if you teach people how to care for collections correctly and how to document, it's helping collect history for the state, and it's for the greater good, so.
It is, it is. Well, now I see you have some very special artifacts here. Can you explain what they are and how they got here?
Oh, absolutely. Well, we'll first start out, I'm not sure which one, we'll start out with the trophy, I think.
Okay.
So,
Oh, these are awesome, aren't they?
these are some fun things. This trophy is an amazing piece. It's sterling and silver, but what's so special about it, it's from the Reno Wheelman organization. And they were a group of men, turn of the century, till at least 1908. The organization is still in existence today, but they actually had their own building where the members could meet, train, and do that. But they had a fire in 1908 and lost the whole building.
Oh.
And so they donated shortly thereafter to the Historical Society all of their trophies. So we have all 22 of their trophies, quite a few of the historic photos of different members of the group, in different racing poses, and they're amazing, they're truly amazing. And this one dates back to 1905. It's the Oakland Wheelman versus the Reno Wheelman. So it's truly, seeing the beautiful flowers.
Yes.
It's amazing how ornate these trophies are.
Oh,
So
goodness.
we're really lucky to be able to care for them. And a few years ago, the organization had their 100-year celebration. So we worked with them and took photographs of all of the trophies so they could have it for their archives as well.
Oh, sure.
And then we gave a lecture talking about the early history about that, and the members were really happy about it. So it's a
What a
great way to
treasure.
share, and then we're saving it for the state.
Sure.
We also have even one of the Reno Wheelman jackets. Initially, it was thought it was a band uniform because of the style,
Oh, okay.
but it is actually the Wheelman trophy. What they wore, because they were writers. They also had a football team and a band. So there was several members doing several things, but
Sure.
it's still pretty amazing. So these are just some of the little fun things that we have in our
Sure.
collection.
And this is interesting. She's wearing these wonderful white gloves for.
To prevent oils and dirt getting on our artifacts, and especially, you're looking at the trophy, it does have tarnish, but if you start to look, you can see where fingers touched, and
Oh.
after a while, if you're not careful, your fingerprint can actually etch in and
Oh.
actually eat away on the trophy itself. So those are things to take in consideration when you're working with things, but washing your hands is always helpful if you're working with stuff. And say maybe you're working with a basket, maybe washing your hands and not using this cotton glove because maybe it might snag. So
I see.
so
Sure.
we kind of go on a base, depending what we're working with. So.
Sure.
Or we're mimes, I don't know.
Wow. That's interesting.
So the next thing we pulled out is actually Life Among the Paiutes.
Oh.
And so this is Sarah Winnemaka's, or, at the time she was still married, Hopkins. This is the first edition book that she wrote, and then she went on, on a tour back in the East Coast to promote the Native American issues that were happening. And so what's so amazing about this is her original signature.
Oh.
And so we're very fortunate to be able to have that on the inside here, and I won't unfold it, but it says who bought it and saying that this is her original signature, and you can see we even have the stamp, so we know what time period, but this is probably in the 20s, 30s when we got this piece into our collection.
Oh, what a treasure.
It really is. It was for a long time on our regular shelves, but realizing the significance to it, we have it specially boxed up. And,
Sure.
But it's still an amazing piece.
Oh,
So.
it is. Oh, how fun this is.
So, but something fun and new that we've gotten, these are, our photograph collection is truly amazing. You can take away so much information when you look at an image, and I imagine as you're doing your research, looking at photos, really can help
Yes.
you with identifying a building
It can.
or people. What's great about this is Cropwell is a very prominent photographer up in Virginia City, and this dates about 1887, I think. This is we had two of them that just came in recently. And this picture is of the cemetery up in Virginia City. And so you can actually see people in there.
Yes.
And it's amazing. It's a different view we've never seen before. So it's pretty rare in that sense that, people would, during the heyday of the Comstock, would have picnics and spend time up there because they were so lush. They were very green and well manicured. So this is just an amazing photo that we'll be putting into the general collection to let people use for research as well. But it's great too, I imagine, and we'll share a copy of this with the Comstock Cemetery Foundation, but this is good documentation even of headstones and, things that they're trying to document of things that have disappeared, fences over time. So, it's those kind of things that everyone's looking for that really can help in your research.
Well,
So,
sure. Oh, this is an amazing picture.
yeah,
Wow.
it truly is amazing, so we were very excited to get it.
Oh, of course, sure.
But I wanted to show you kind of just a variety of the material. So, this is an artifact, library material, photography, and then this book right here is a ledger. So this would be a manuscript collection. But this actually is a ledger for the IRS to document the state of Nevada's taxes, income tax associated with tobacco and liquor, dating 1881 to 1884. And what's so amazing, we don't know of any other that's out there. And so that, which is pretty exciting into itself. Let me open it up just so you can kind of see here, and I'll tilt it up a little bit. But what's fascinating, it is in alphabetical order, and what's great about it, it tells you like Soda Springs, and the different names of the gentlemen, the areas that they were, and there's a lot of places like Rye Patch, places that no longer exist,
Right.
or it was just kind of popped up overnight to sell, and because saloons were very big at the time,
Sure.
and would kind of pop up through time. But this is a great resource that we're very excited to be able to do some research on people in the state, as well as these businesses or places that no longer exist. So we're very excited about getting this piece in. So.
Well, and I bet you are with us too, because you you take care of the manuscripts, don't you? So this, oh wow, this is like a Christmas present.
It is, I know, we're always like, ooh, you
Oh,
know.
how fun.
It's the little things, but it really, I can see this really being a benefit for people doing research on maybe family businesses,
Oh.
of members that maybe have come and gone to different communities over time,
Mhm.
early on. So, I mean, it's potentially a great resource
Mhm.
tool for us, so, and for the public. So.
Well, sure, this is, this is just incredible. Now, do you have any of these items housed in the museum part of the Historical Society?
We do. We have a lot of artifacts. We've got a changing gallery, we have a Reno gallery, and a permanent gallery. So we've got materials of, we have reproductions of photographs as well as documents, but we want to expand and keep reworking our galleries. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, we have, you know, some of the Reno Wilman material out, and just amazing pieces that you don't normally get to see. But
Mhm.
our goal is to keep expanding and fleshing out the gallery to make it more interactive and
Mhm.
updated, and so one step at a time.
Well, sure. Well, sure, you have a couple of things to research, don't you?
Well, and we're a small
Oh.
staff, we're a small staff of 6, but we rely
Oh.
heavily on our volunteers to help us work in our collections, our store, admissions. It really, you know, we
Mhm.
wouldn't be able to get all the things we get accomplished without their
Well,
generosity.
sure.
So we really appreciate it.
And anybody can volunteer or ask, or apply, or to
Absolutely,
volunteer?
just finished up a docent training, but we have them twice a year, one in the
Oh.
spring and one in the fall. But if you're interested and it's in between times, please give us a call, and we have a form, and we'll have our docent president and the trainer get in contact with you, and we've had people just come in that just want to volunteer, and we work with student interns at UNR.
Oh.
So we have a lot of opportunities available, and we appreciate it, so.
Cool, and the contact information once more?
It's 775-688-1190, and call extension 0, that's our admissions office, or visit our website, nevadaculture.org.
Thank you so much for this fabulous interview.
Oh.
It has been a pleasure and a treasure and an honor to have you on this Psychic Creation show.
We
Thank you
appreciate it.
so much. Now, if you would like to have a Psychic Stone reading with me, please contact my website, which is www.sandypsychicstones.com. Thank you so much for watching Psychic Creations, and we'll see you next show.